Alright guys, White Rose again here. Skyrim read aloud time. Uh, Today I wanted to read some books I found like randomly. I was just traveling in the woods and I found these books and they sounded pretty decent. So I wanted to check them out. Uh, just to point out my Mythic Dawn clothing looks pretty epic, looks pretty studious. Looks like I'm getting ready to read a book in real life. Alright, let's check it. Let me see what I got here. I remember I saved them in here. Let's read this one. Night Falls on Sentinel. Sentinel. Night Falls on Sentinel. Yeah. Let's check this one out. I found this one just in the middle of a doggone mountain. Night Falls on Sentinel by Bowley. No music played in the nameless tavern in the Sentinel, and indeed there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of the conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all. If anyone were less otherwise occupied, the sight of the young red-garbed woman in the fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it were, the strange figure, out of place in an underground cellar so modest it had no sign, blended into the shadows. "Are you Jomick?" The stout middle-aged man with a face older than his years looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. The young woman took the seat next to him. "My name is Halbala," she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. "Sure it be," snarled Jomick, and met her eyes again. "Who do you want dead?" She did not turn away, but merely asked, "Is it safe to talk here?" "No one cares about nobody else's problems but their own here. You could take off your cuirass and dance bare-breasted in the table, and no one even spit." The man smiled. "So who do you want dead?" "No one, actually," said Habala. "The truth is, I only want someone removed for a while. Not harmed, you understand, and that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended." "Who you been talking to?" asked Jomick, dully returning to his drink. "A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend." "One of them friends don't know what he's talking about," grumbled the man. "I don't do that anymore." Habala quietly took out another purse of gold, and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment, and then poured the gold out and began counting. As he did, he asked, "Who do you want removed?" "Just a moment," smiled Habala, shaking her head. "Before we talk details, I want to know that you're a professional, and you won't harm this person very much, and that you'll be discreet." "You want discreet?" The man paused in his counting. "All right, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been by Akare. I can hardly believe it. More'n 20 years, and no one but me's alive who had anything to do with the job. This is back before the time of war of Betney. Remember that?" "I was just a baby." "Course you was," Jomick smiled. "Everyone knows that King Lotan had an older brother, Gregolith, what died, right? And then he's got his older sister, Albiki, that what married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth's that he had two elder brothers." "Really?" Habala's eyes glistened with interest. "No lie," he chuckled. "Weedy, feeble fella called Arthago, the king and queen's firstborn. Anyhow, this prince was heir to the throne, which his parents wasn't too thrilled about, but the queen, she squeezed out two more princes, who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on to make it look like the first prince got took off by Underking or some such story." "I had no idea," the young woman whispered. Of course you didn't. That's the point. Jomick shook his head. Discretion, like you said. We bagged the boy, dropped him off in a deep old ruin, and that was that. No fuss, just a couple of fellas, a bag, and a club. That's what I'm interested in, said Habala. Technique, my friend. Who needs to be taken away is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for? It's a tool. So many things what was better in the past ain't around no more, just 'cause people today prefer ease of use to what works right. Let me explain. There are 71 prime pain centers in an average fellow's body. Elves and Khajiit, being so sensitive and all, got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slodes, almost as many at 52 and 67. Jomick used his short stubby finger to point out each region on Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 on your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, 9 in your abdomen, 3 in each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favored leg, and 5 in the other. That's 63, she replied. No, it's not, growled Jomick. Yes, it is, the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2, plus 2, plus 7, plus 10, plus 9, plus 3, plus 1 arm, and 3 for the other, plus 12, plus 4, plus 5, 63. I mustn't left some out, shrugged Jomick. The important thing is that to become skilled with a staff or a club, you gotta be master of these pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much of a bruise. Fascinating, explained Habala. And no one ever found out? Why would they? The boy's parents and the king and queen, they're both dead now. The other children always thought their brother got carried off by the underking. That's what everyone thinks, and all my partners are dead. Of natural causes? Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay. You know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Selenu. Another died of that same plague that took the queen and Prince Grecolith. Another fella got himself beat up to death by a burglar. You gotta keep low out of sight like me if you want to stay alive. Jomick finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up. Without a look back, she strode out of the nameless tavern. Jorg drained his beer and went out. The night was cool with unrestrained wind surging off the water of the lilac bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out of the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the king of Sentinel. The fat man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. The king has spent years since he took the throne looking for you and your collaborators, Jomick. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were specific, but you've given me an idea. From her belt, Habala removed a small sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alley. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dang! My dude got owned! Alright, man, I'm running out of time here, man. We got 10 minutes. Alright, I'm running out of time, but that book was cold! That was cold, man. That girl was a beast. It was cold. Alright, till next time, y'all.